This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
We got to meet with some of the girls who had received cups, and, I was like, did you figure it out? And it was so cool because they were like, actually, I didn't figure it out, but one of my friends figured it out. And so she helped me figure it out. So the fact that they were so wanting to make this product work for them was really encouraging to me.
Welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humor, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the ZuLoo Poodcast. We're excited to have you listening in, watching in, tuning in, however you're
bringing it in,
joining us today. Welcome back.
You're welcome to come on in too if you just want to come sit in the studio audience.
Yeah, we'd love
room it this in.
As long as you applaud when the sign goes off, applaud. Laugh track.
Then you're welcome. But there's no booing. We don't allow that. Yeah. This is a positive space.
That's right.
I love it.
No offensive things.
We talk about a lot of offensive things.
We'll toot you out if you boo us.
That's right. Producer will say, toot that. You get 3 toots, you're out.
3 toots, you're out. That's right. Yeah. Baseball rules. Well, we have like a sweet lineup today. Darren and I got to chat with Jillian Moore, who is sister to the co-founders of Pixie Cup, who we have chatted about, I feel like, fairly extensively.
We talk about them all the time.
Yeah. We do kind of talk
You're
about
like
them
the biggest fan, and you, we need you to report.
I have a lot of hesitations.
A few episodes ago, we did a full-blown review, and then I think now returning report. How's it going?
Very cute name, cute branding, cute packaging. The whole idea sounds great, but I took it home and I realized, okay, actually, doing this might be a little more complicated than I thought, because it's going to require me to be more intentional every time I need to use this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have time.
Yep.
And maybe I'm not brave enough. And what about doing this in a public space? I just got a little bit hesitant around the whole thing.
Yeah.
However, that's not to say that I won't try it in the future, because it's good to break out of your comfort zone. But it did seem like, when you get into a routine that you've been doing since you were a teenager, it's like, maybe I'm an old dog who can't learn new tricks.
You can. You're just really busy. You run a business. You have
there's
two girls.
There's a lot going on, and it's like, okay, this isn't. But I am kind of nervous to use it when I have to in public. How do I keep everything clean and not come out looking like I just murdered someone?
Yeah, you don't want to be a suspect.
Yeah, exactly.
Come with us. You've got blood on your hands, literally.
Literally blood on my hands. So I know that you use not Pixie Cup, but a similar product, and you have great success with it.
I really prefer it because I only have to change it once every 12 hours or so.
And that does seem really appealing.
Yeah.
Just like the convenience. So I guess I am still thinking that I'm changing this every 3 to 4 hours, but that's not true.
No. I change it when I wake up. And then depending on the day of my cycle, like how heavy my flow is, I might change it like midday.
And so do you use it the entire time? Like even at the end when it's kind of like the finale?
No, I'll use it. My menstrual cycle typically lasts, my period typically lasts 5-ish days. And I would say I use it for sure 3 of the 5.
Okay.
Yeah. The other days
I was curious about that too. Like,
are
you using it throughout the whole thing? Because it is, it's not the same on day 1 as it is on day 5.
Right. Yeah. No, the days like first day, last day when I'm just spotting.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to use
like
that. Yeah. But definitely super awesome on the heavier days. So then I just change it like at night, or I'll change it in the shower, because then it doesn't matter like
that's a
how
good
messy
idea.
it is, right? I'm in the shower to clean.
It's a question. Is there like a smartphone thing on your app that like tells you it's full?
Nope.
That you better change it.
That's just called your uterus.
we need Hall Labs
So
to
you
do
sort
that.
of,
Yeah.
So you sort of know like it's full, right?
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
have
like,
a feeling like it's full, I got to change it, or you just kind of is like kind of guesswork,
like it can spill. So if you have like a very heavy period, then like, and you don't fit it properly, like it doesn't suction, then it can leak.
Is it going?
but you know it's leaking, right? I mean, you know it.
I can
leaking.
tell when it's leaking.
Is it all the way up against your cervix? So and then so you make sure there's nothing.
Like yes and no. So Pixie Cup, the reason Pixie Cup is so awesome is because they have a size guide depending on like where your cervix sits. I don't know, they have some size guide on their website. You fit it to that. So I don't think that you want it like it's not suctioning to your cervix, right? It's suctioning to your vaginal wall.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the blood drains down into the cup.
I see.
Yeah.
So you practice basically based on your flow rate that day. I probably need to change this within a few hours.
Yeah.
Or it would back up. I guess if you got a good seal, right, it would back up, right? It would because it's not going.
If it's good seal, it's just going right up, just filling the tank. That's what's happening,
when
really.
you start seeing pink, in your eyes, it's like, I think I need to change it because it's.
Oh my gosh. Rose colored everything.
Yeah.
Everything's rosy.
Yeah. You do. You start to feel like, oh, okay, it's time to change this. And it will leak. It will. Because it's liquid, right? And liquid can still.
Well, especially if you were
it's not like a vacuum seal, right? Like
yeah.
it is like sealed, suctioned as best it can be.
Eventually the dam's going to break. I mean, you got a couple days and it's just going to
break.
It's going to go somewhere.
Yes. And I will have to say that like after you've had a child, then like your pelvic floor is much looser than it was before. And so if you don't have the right size of menstrual cup, then when you're urinating, you might push, you might break the seal, break the suction.
Well, that's probably an ideal time to change it anyway, because you're there on the toilet.
But hopefully you don't have to do that every time you pee.
Yeah, if you have the right size, you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for being so open about.
But yeah, the shower,
the
shower is the key.
The shower is
really,
a great idea.
Because
I would have never thought of that.
You shower in the morning or you shower at night. You can empty it.
Oh, you just do it in the shower.
You just do it in the shower
instead of the toilet.
Yeah. Then you've got your soap ready. You wash your hands before and after. You can. You don't have to worry about like potentially dripping blood somewhere.
Yeah.
Because there is the walk from the toilet
to the sink.
Or you can remove it at your sink, but then
not at a gas station.
Not at the gas station.
Gotta be
then
very
there's
careful.
the walk.
Careful with it. It's full.
Exactly. So
it takes practice, right?
It takes
practice.
practice.
It does seem like this is like a veteran level device. Like if you were a 16-year-old going through this experience for the first time, or maybe that is the right time to figure it out.
If you don't know any better, right?
Yeah,
if you were raised, I always use a Pixie Cup. What else is there? You'd probably be fine, right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm thinking this is like Jedi level period stuff.
No, I know it sounds really complicated, but it's really just the same amount of training as a tampon is.
Yeah.
I think like if you're, Jocelyn thinking, okay, I'm going to have to teach my girls menstrual health.
Oh, I'm hoping
hygiene.
They'll just do away with periods by then.
That'd be great. Wow. I'm in for that.
Science will be far enough along. We can just have them when we need them. And that's it.
We need some legislation to get rid of that.
But I think like the teaching of it requires a little bit more in depth of like,
you'd have to know your anatomy a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Which is probably a good idea.
Yeah, but it's nothing like, your tampon box comes with an instruction packet. Well, so does Pixie Cup.
Yeah.
And so you follow that. You watch the YouTube video or whatever, and they have like a little diagram.
So it's not as scary.
It's not so scary. You can do it, girlfriend. You can do it.
Next time,
maybe
guys.
you guys should just do a little little girl
We could
night
just
out and just
have the period podcast.
I will.
do
You
it.
just call me next time.
Could you come on over?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the
Kelsey,
shower right now.
I'm in
Can
my
you be my
bathroom.
sponsor?
Step one.
Yeah.
They need a hotline, right?
That's right.
Walk you
actually-
through
They
it.
might have
That's
one.
not a
They might
terrible
have-
They
idea.
might have one.
Things you don't dare to ask your own mother
Yeah.
about this.
I'm sure you could email them and wait for a response.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
waiting
totally.
there with your smartphone.
Maybe this
You can
instant
send.
chat.
You can send Jill a DM on Insta. She'll
Yeah, she'll
she'll
probably be right
respond to
on
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but we'll dive into that. I am anxious to hear this week's poo news.
Well, I had a question though.
Oh, yeah.
I want to raise my hand again, like
Yes, Darren.
naive male that I am. So what caused you to decide? I think I'm gonna, because you weren't raised like your mother didn't say, "Oh, Pixie Cup."
Yeah, they weren't around.
But what caused you to say, "I think I'm gonna."
How did you
I think I'm
how'd you
gonna
make
do
that
this
switch?
instead. Like something caused you to sort of, I think this is more. I don't know. Maybe it's less expensive, or maybe
Yeah.
it's more environmentally friendly. I mean, what made you sort of? I think I'm going to do it this way.
Well, I became aware of it because my best friend modeled for the brand. The brand that I use is Salt, SAALT.
Oh, okay.
She did. She modeled for them once, and I saw her
How do you
pictures.
model that.
It was a very classy, like marketing campaign. They were in these glittery dresses, just like holding the packaging.
Gotcha.
Oh, glamorous.
It was glamorous, yeah, and of course I was
Periods can
like,
be
wow,
glamorous.
so beautiful. My friend's so gorgeous, and that's when I learned what they were.
Oh.
And then I talked to her about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll never use anything else." Then I asked my mom, like, I didn't know these existed. And she was like, "Oh, my friends use them. I can't get on, whatever." Then I was at the grocery store, and yeah, it was just like an economical decision, really.
You saw one, and you say, "Well, might as well try this out."
Yeah, I mean, I saw the salt cup next to the tampons, and the tampons, box of 32 or something's, I don't know, $14, $15, something like that, which doesn't sound like a lot. And then the Pixie Cup, I think or the Menstrual Cup, I think was $30.
But you could reuse it.
But I could reuse it. And the
Over and
tampons,
over.
I'm like, I'm going to go through that entire box this one period.
Okay.
So
Yeah, makes
already
sense.
within 2 months, I'm getting my money's worth with this cup. And fast forward, I think I've had it 3 years,
Yeah,
three,
that's
maybe
Same
4
cup?
years. Same cup.
It just works like a champ.
Yep. You
Do
just,
you put it in the dishwasher?
I don't. You sterilize it. So you can wash it with mild soap.
Okay.
And then you just boil water and you sterilize it, and you can sun soak it. So you just put it in a windowsill or something, and that gets out any of the staining
Oh.
or, like lessens the staining
Mm-hmm.
on it.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a great $30.
Great.
3
$30.
years. I mean, think of all the box of tampons would have been this high.
Yeah.
Yeah, environmentally, it
It
does
makes
seem
sense. like
like the much more sensible thing to do.
Yeah. And it's made my life a lot easier to manage, because now when I'm on my period, I'm not like so worried about, okay, where am I going to find a toilet to be
Yeah.
able to,
Or I got to go buy some.
Mm-hmm.
No,
or I
you
got to
just-
go buy
you just have
some.
it.
Yeah. Do I
Yeah.
have any? Am I digging through my purse for the last one when I,
Yeah.
Well,
I
what
wasn't
I
tracking my
do-
cycle?
Because I'm still in the dark ages and using tampons. Unbeknownst to people that I frequent their houses regularly, I just hide them in their house.
Do you
They never know they're
That
there.
is incredible.
But just in case there's an emergency, and I don't do this to everyone. You guys don't have tampons in your houses.
I'm cool.
I did find one, and I thought,
That
"Is
wasn't
Jocelyn
me.
here?"
That wasn't me.
Okay.
But if you do that, then you're probably safe no
Yep.
matter where you go. But
Mhm.
still, there are those like very scary moments where you're like, this is happening.
Yeah.
I have nothing. I have
Yep.
to find a woman and hope she's nice and
Yep.
has one in her purse.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and it's discreet too, right? Because if I do carry it around, there's a cute little cloth pouch.
They are
that
so
comes
cute.
in.
They are so cute.
Yeah. And like I've said before, there's no crinkling. I freaking hate
the
damn
crinkling.
paper.
crinkling things.
Yeah, if you guys,
Yeah.
viewers, if you haven't watched the the Pixie Cup review episode,
Go back and watch
We do
that.
talk about
Go
paper
back.
crinkle.
yeah.
we'll link into it. But we didn't bring one today. We should have brought
Mhm.
some, but
yeah.
go back and look at that one because we show them on
Yeah.
camera.
Did we talk about
Very educational.
period underwear? Have you tried
We did.
that?
I haven't tried that yet. But we
Okay, I
did.
couldn't
talk about
remember
that a
if we
little
did.
bit.
And they got the bathing suits. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I should just test out all of these
Yeah.
different strategies
I know.
and
Me
then
too.
write a review on like
Do it.
Absolutely.
which one works the best.
Send it to the Times.
All right, 2023. That's my
Yeah.
goal.
Post it on ZuLoo.org.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
see though, shortly after our discussion with Jill, those like mini tampon applicators, like a normal tampon applicator is like, I don't know, the length of my
The
finger.
ones that click.
But yeah, the
teeny
ones that the tiny, tiny ones, they're like half the size. So I saw that there, I don't know, it must have been like some BuzzFeed article or something, but there are girls' panties that have little pockets specifically for those. So you don't have to carry them in your purse.
Oh,
You carry them
that's
in your panties.
great
They're just
idea,
built in.
actually.
Yeah, and
Like
so you
tiny
just
little bullets on your hip.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's next level. It
You're
seems-
ready
I
to
think
go.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
love
sense.
that people are thinking of new ways to do this.
me too. Yeah,
I like the bullet panty idea.
me too. I want to find myself a pair now. Yeah, super cool.
You're just ready to go anytime.
Yeah.
That's
There
great.
you go.
That's great.
Literally
You're
shooting
like the
from
Girl
the
Scouts.
hip.
You're ready to go. Yeah. So anyway, we'll link to that other episode talking about Pixie Cup.
Yeah.
And what's cool about Pixie Cup is also that they've got that 1-for-1 program,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
Jillian talks a little bit about in our interview.
Yeah.
That's coming up. But
I should defend myself real quick. Why I have a salt cup and not a Pixie Cup, because we talked about.
that's what I was going to ask you. What is Pixie Cup about the same price?
Yeah,
Because they do the 1-for-1 thing, which is cool.
yeah.
Maybe some other companies do it too, but that's I think what sets them apart. A
I
little
think
bit.
Pixie Cup might be less expensive.
A little less expensive. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly. But I only have a salt cup because that's what was in the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
And
Mhm.
that's what
I think-
that's what was there. And now I'm like, I don't need to buy a second one because I just need one. Nothing's happened to my first one, but Pixie Cup,
Maybe
when I need a replacement.
maybe Pixie Cup doesn't. I don't know if they sell it in store. Maybe by the time in the future
Yeah.
they might, but I think it's mainly online. You buy them,
Online.
right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in the grocery store, but I haven't been to the female hygiene section in
Did
a
you?
couple of years.
Yeah, that's right. You've skipped that aisle for the last 3
I
years.
skipped that aisle for the last
You don't
year.
have
all
like
the
a
time
you
you've
don't have a
saved.
backup like in case you lose it. I guess you
I
no way.
I
to
don't know
lose
how
it.
I'm going to lose it. I mean, there are,
She's got a pretty safe storage space.
the month comes around, I'm always like, is it in my makeup bag or is it in my dock kit in the cupboard or something? But
I don't know. Your little girl might just pick it up and chuck
think
it
it's
under
true.
under the couch.
That's
somewhere.
true. I could see her doing something like that. I do. I mean, I guess I have, but you should probably buy
backup
like
seems like a
a
good
idea. Maybe have a
panty
backup.
liner
Yeah.
just in case it leaks. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. So anyway, we should move on. What's in the poo news, Darren? It's a
Well, it's
lot
just
more than
fast-
our listeners
It's
bargained
just
for.
fascinating. It's like science, biology,
Society,
women's issues,
feminism. Yeah, it's a
all
lot of
that
stuff.
in one. You get it all
It's
here
cool.
on the Poodcast.
That's the ZuLoo soup.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Well, speaking of women and menstruating and all that, I guess it's a thing on going on TikTok right now. People, it's called menstrual masking. Have you heard of this?
No.
I'm worried about what it
Yeah,
is.
I guess it's a big.
Wait.
It's
Something's. Is it like?
Is it like
putting it on their face? Like
Oh.
a weird new trend.
Oh,
It's a big
my
deal.
gosh. My esthetician was telling me about
Yes.
this.
Get out.
It's in the
No,
news.
it was Shannon telling me about this.
Okay. She's all on TikTok all the time.
No, it
Um,
was because her esthetician told her she should do it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. This is it's really a big deal on TikTok. Menstrual masking trend sees women apply period blood to faces for glowy skin.
Oh, okay.
I'm not as,
Oh, gosh.
but you've got all these pretty influencer types that are just like talking all about it, and they're showing before and after. Like, I don't know, is it real? Is it legit?
Is there
I don't know.
any
I took this
actual
picture and put a filter on it,
Yeah,
and then just saved it
exactly.
and posted it, so it doesn't show that I had a
Show
filter.
me like several studies that say this is a great idea,
right.
because this seems like a really disgusting idea.
Yeah, is it just a weird fad, or is it like real? I mean, I don't think you want to see these because
I do.
Well, she's
I
like
kinda-
applying,
Oh gosh.
applying what appears to be menstrual blood. It could be red ketchup,
That looks like food coloring.
but she's applying it to her face
Yeah.
and is
And there's like it seems very thin.
Yeah, it's You're right.
I hate to say it's not mucousy, but
Anyway, so some have claimed our skin is the biggest organ in our body, so that's why when you use period blood as fertilizer, it grows.
Why would you need your skin to grow?
well, like your, dead skin cells slough off. So if you're like replenishing that, your new layer of skin.
If this is legit, that's great. This seems like a weird influencer. Let's get a ton of people to watch this video because what we're doing is extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, does period blood have any other benefits than regular blood? Like, what would be the purpose?
There's this other thing going on, which is called vabbing. I don't know if you've heard of this, but they, instead of putting menstrual blood on their face, they dab their menstrual blood on different pulse points, thinking that it would attract men.
You know what that's doing for you, honey? That is repulsing men because
I look at this. I look at Trevor's face. Look.
Gosh.
When I said it, Trevor's like,
I'm repulsed.
I know that we are part of the animal kingdom, but we are not that feral. And
good word choice.
That is that's
because
absurd.
I mean, what you were saying before we hopped on, like menstrual blood is
it's its own unique everything. It has a distinct look. It has a distinct smell, a distinct texture. There is nothing sexy or attractive about it. At least not like on your, I just can't even think of a scenario where that would be attractive. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm at a loss too. Amen. I don't know what else to add to that because gross.
Yeah, so there's a lot of controversy about it. Some people are like, that's super disgusting. And then, a lot of defenders are saying, why should it be disgusting? It's part of you and it's part of,
Why don't you just go sweat at the gym for an hour and let that stink attract somebody? I mean,
if there are actual benefits to it, I would be very curious to hear this.
Some say that it has like stem cells and nutrients that a baby would use if you had a baby, right? So it's sort of, there's some redeeming nutritional value and those applied to the skin. This is what they're saying. I think it's probably not, I think it would clog your skin, would it not? Would it clog your skin?
I think we need a hematologist.
I hate to say this because this is a really gross comparison, but I just think about putting something inside of you versus on top of you. And I always think that putting something inside of you and letting your body process it is probably more effective than putting it on top. And so it's sort of giving me the eat your placenta vibes.
That's what I was thinking too.
But you don't want to ingest your period blood because there is disease that can be carried through period blood. So I'm just thinking about the danger of this as well. Somebody putting a menstrual blood face mask on and getting ill from it.
People swear by it. They're swearing by it, like saying it's, they're showing on, hey, look at me now.
I don't believe anything.
I don't. I 100% agree. I would love to hear
not something you'd be willing to
scientific peer-reviewed study on the aesthetic effects of putting period blood on your face. If it's legit, hey, I will try almost anything to not start looking as old as I feel. But
your skin looks great anyway, so I don't.
I think you can pass that service.
Try it out.
But they are offering it. Your wife was telling me about this, Darren. That at her
are they offering
they're
period
offering
facials?
That
Get
service.
Out of town.
Yeah.
Who's donating this blood?
I don't know. I should have asked more details about it. Now I'm going to have to go and dive more into that conversation.
I wonder if the qualification process is as rigorous as the donate your poop process.
I wonder.
I'm
also just thinking you have the choice between a chocolate massage and a period face mask.
Wait, a chocolate massage, is that real?
Yeah, at like a spa, they'll do
you just
like
eat it while they massage
chocolate, they'll do like chocolate masks or yeah. It looks like we gotta take you to a spa. I've never had it done, but I know it's offered.
I'd rather just eat it while they massage me.
Yeah.
And then just
Instead
let's
of
leave
being
the period
massaged
blood
in.
out of the spa completely. Leave it down the road.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's new. That is
This is
some
this was
crazy
very
news.
new information
Yeah.
for me.
Anyway, so we might get a lot of hate mail based on this article. If you feel, it sounds like we're
It's-
on the negative side of this.
I think
question.
these are pretty normal reactions, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The female body is incredible. Like menstruation is incredible, but that doesn't make it not disgusting.
I mean,
it really is like kind of just like a, just as if you were dealing with any other bodily function.
right.
There are some things that
I'm really
are
glad that
unpleasant
we can
about it.
poop. I don't want to put it on my face.
Here, here.
Here.
Agreed. We can all agree. Agree. Trevor,
Yes.
Trigger,
It's
everybody
unanimous.
agrees. Everybody on favor. No poop on the face. Menstrual blood on the face, though. Maybe that could be.
I would love to hear
So, yeah.
legit.
I think
studies.
we need a doctor probably, or
Mhm.
maybe a esthetician
Esthetician.
We need both.
to sort of give their sort of scientific opinion about that.
Yeah.
But then again, it sounds like you may have people that differ on that question too.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, I've heard that you can put it into your plants as like a great fertilizer for your plants. So
in Puerto Rico, they were painting with it. Remember?
yeah. Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, we
Paintings,
talked
or-
about that for a long time ago.
Like for an artistic installation, I could kind of like that might
Yeah.
actually be kind of cool.
Yeah. It was a narrative on like female empowerment,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
and breaking
That's
period
that's
stigma.
kind of compelling.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put it on my face.
Yeah.
What if you painted like in an artistic way, like roses? Like it was a artistic application. But that's not what they're
You're
talking
not
about.
convincing me.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna pass.
Anyway, if you have opinions about this, viewers, just let us have it.
Tell us why it's great if you've
Send
tried
it to
Yeah.
periodmask@zulu.com. Okay, so moving on. This next article is a little more, maybe not as controversial. This is an article, kind of happy news. A lady who, 49 years old, thought she had ovarian cancer and went in and it was
Baby.
she had a baby.
Oh,
49.
Wow.
Post-menopause, everything.
Oh,
didn't have
wow.
a period. And she was fearful because she's having pains and discomforts. And apparently ovarian cancer has some of the similar characteristics.
Was she
of
full
being
term?
pregnant. Right at full term.
What?
that is wild.
And she was having sporadic menstrual cycles, really unwell, went into her doctor, really fearful of what the doctor was going to say. And the doctor was like smiling, you have a baby,
Oh,
49 years old. I think they had never had children.
Oh,
that's
Kind
amazing.
that
of a
feels
cool
like a
story.
happy ending.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
hopefully that was like
Hopefully
they
that
wanted
was-
children.
yeah.
And
Yeah, they had kind of given up. Like,
Yeah.
we tried and fertility clinics and all that just never happened.
Oh.
And then
How is that
Lo and
possible
behold,
post-menopause?
Yeah.
49 had a
Was
baby.
she premenopausal?
Apparently had
She'd gone through menopause.
gone through menopause, had still had her period now, a period now and again.
Oh,
It
so,
wasn't- So it was maybe 100% out of the woods, but
wow.
anyway, kind of happy story.
That
Had a
is
full
happy.
healthy baby,
Happy
and
for her.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
there's a-
That is pretty amazing.
yeah,
And
so
49, and the baby was okay? Nothing
was
wrong
okay.
with baby?
nothing wrong with the baby.
See, my late 30 girls who want to have babies, you can still do it.
Still do it.
Like, you can, talk to your doctor, but it's possible.
Possible. Yeah, anything's possible. Anyway, so that's some happy news.
I love it. Well, on that
So-
happy news note, we should
Yeah.
jump into our chat with Jill.
Yep.
Enjoy. Well, Jill, welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast. We are so excited to chat with you. Like, I'm fangirling. I love your product. Welcome.
Thanks, Kelsey. I'm super excited too. This is great. I'm really glad you guys could have me on.
Thank you. Well, I would love it if you could give our audience a brief overview of who you are and what Pixie Cup does.
Yeah, so I am actually the younger sister of both the founders. So it's a family-owned company, and I mostly do content creation for them. hence why I am on here. And then as far as Pixie Cup, we are a feminine hygiene company. So we sell menstrual cups, menstrual discs, basically anything that has to do with your period. And then we actually have a mission to give a cup to every woman in need. So that's our buy one, give one. So every time you buy a Pixie Cup, we're able to give one to someone in need. And that kind of goes along with, your values like feminine hygiene, feminine, period poverty is a huge thing. And a lot of people aren't aware about that. And that even goes with pooping as well. There's pooping poverty, I guess.
But I like that term. We're going to need to adopt that term.
Yeah, can we coin that term, pooping poverty? That's a good one.
It's all yours.
Well, that's where we started out with ZuLoo about pooping and obviously access to toilets. And the more we got into the issue, and really Kelsey's done a great job at educating us as to, hey, this really cuts across a lot of not just sanitation, but also feminine hygiene and access to toilets for a lot of women is a big challenge, as across the world. So so we're all about menstruation and feminine hygiene as well. So we're super glad to have you on the show.
Yeah. No, it ties into, because a lot of times you're actually using a toilet when you're using a menstrual cup. So it really ties into that aspect.
Yeah, sometimes I try to imagine a woman using a menstrual cup like camping, and not, I'm sure people do it, but that kind of blows my mind a little bit because it just feels like this is a product which you definitely need to use in the bathroom, because even though it saves you so much time, it can be a little bit messy, as is most of the things that goes on in the bathroom, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, so I backpack a lot. So with backpacking, you have to, if you use like tampons or because I used to use, tampons, pads, whatever. And unfortunately, you have to trek them in and you have to trek them out, which is like not my favorite thing in the world. Like having my little soiled tampons in my zipper bag. I'm like, ugh. Anyways.
For real though, yeah. That's very responsible of you, but it's different with a menstrual cup, right? Even though the use of it, you might have to be a little bit more careful. It's definitely easier when you're out in the wilderness.
Yeah, it is definitely different. Even so I guess we're very adventurous in in this company. And so we've done a couple of blog posts on this, like how to dispose of your blood while you're out there. Because anyways, there's a whole bunch of things, but we have a product and I've really liked it. I used to travel in a van for a long time and I didn't have a bathroom in my van. So I would use I think I actually have it right here, but it's called a carry cup. It's really nice to have if you basically, it's this little thing and you just fill it up with water before you go into the bathroom. And then, you'll empty your cup in the stall, you'll dump it in the toilet, you put your cup in here and you just give it a shake. And that way it's clean. You can go ahead and reinsert it. They have wipes, feminine wipes are very common too, which is really nice. But yeah, there's definitely tips and tricks to using it outside of the comfort of your home.
But how cool that it can be used, right? Because that's the thing, is that we also run into finding a lot of products in the feminine hygiene space which can't be used. It is absolutely necessary that, you pack in, pack out, or you have it backstocked, right? A purse full of tampons. I mean, I had a friend. So I used to dance, and in high school, we would go on these tours to different states. And she literally one time brought an entire suitcase of just tampons. Wow. Because her flow was very heavy and we were going to be moving a lot. But I mean, that's sort of an unseen, unrecognized, unacknowledged burden of women, especially women who have, non or irregular flows. And it's just that they they really have to plan. But products like yours make that anxiety go from here way down, right?
Yeah, I agree. Because I think about it in with nurses and stuff. I have a couple of nurse friends, and they work long hours and stuff, and usually they're really, really busy as well. Bless their hearts, but they actually prefer a menstrual disc. So that's like, it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit different. So it has an auto dumping feature, which a lot of people don't know about. But basically, anytime you go to the bathroom, you use those muscles to go pee, it will automatically spill a little bit out. So it sits differently in your up there. But yeah, it's interesting. Like the products that like are coming out these days is crazy. It's like, I mean, even I think this is interesting, but menstrual cups have been around since like the 1930s or something like that.
Really? Tell us more.
Yeah,
I don't know this. This is new information. Tell me more.
Yeah, that was a question that I had was, is this like a relatively new invention, or are we reinventing something that has been around for a long time?
Yeah, we're kind of reinventing it. So the reason it didn't take off is because of culture. It just culturally wasn't acceptable. Back then it was seen as if you're inserting something, you're losing your virginity. That's actually something we have a hard time with our buy one, give one program, is having people accept the product. So education is like, you have to make sure, like, it's so interesting. You have to get the older people to get on board before you can like educate the younger people. Because if you just give it to the younger people, their parents will throw it away, which is like, anyway, so it's a whole story. But yeah, it was, I forget the name of the lady who invented it, but she went ahead and invented it. Looks a lot different. Looks almost like a torture machine a little bit. You have to look up a picture of this, but very same concept. And then someone, reinvented it, and now everyone's catching on, and they're like, this thing is amazing, But yeah, you really the culture had to change in order for that to be acceptable.
Well, just the material, right? The material being kind of a pliable material is a big deal, right? Because I mean, can't imagine using a wooden one or something. What other material could you use? I don't know.
I don't know what they used back then. I have no idea. I mean, but yeah,
I'm doing a little deep dive here. I've got to like see what this thing looks like. So I'm on Google. This is real time, folks. I'm trying to find a picture of this 1930s menstrual cup, because I have seen other menstrual products from the early 20th century, and they do totally look just like bizarro, right? Like, how would you use that? You would for sure need a pamphlet to tell you about it. So
yeah.
they're probably being made by men in some factory. Like, what are we making? I don't know.
Really though, that is like a real thing. Okay, I think I need to share my screen, and you have to tell me, Jill, if this is the one that you've seen.
It's probably similar, but yeah, you should share it because I think it's fun.
Okay, hang on. I gotta share so one, Darren can see, and two, so that you can like fact check us. Is this the one that you've seen?
Yeah, it is crazy what they come up with, but I mean, they came up with the solution. Maybe not been the best, but at least they came up with one.
So is this what you've seen?
Yes, that is what I have seen. It is very interesting.
I'm so curious. Thanks for joining me on this live deep dive here real fast. Like how this would even work. Let's take a look.
I'm not really sure, but
Jill, you're supposed to be our expert.
I know.
No, I'm teasing you completely. Like, how would you know how this works? But that totally does look.
Is that made out of metal? Is that metal something?
I would imagine that it's similar to like a.
That looks like it goes around your waist, and then that goes up inside. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and this attaches. I would assume this is made of like sheepskin or something, because I know that there were. It looks similar to like an old condom, right? Made of like rabbit skin. That's what I would imagine that probably is made of. But very interesting to look through the decades and see how culture has shifted. And Jill, you mentioned that in part of your Give One program, there's a large component of education. Tell us a little bit more about what that's like when you're trying to donate and educate people. That's a large part of what ZuLoo does, is just trying to educate people about sanitation and hygiene, especially in third world countries and in areas that don't share, Western practices of hygiene. Not that we have, the end all be all of it all. But I'm just curious, what's that been like for Pixie Cup?
Yeah. So I actually had the opportunity to go overseas and help out with one of our, outreaches. But we usually don't, it depends where we're donating it to. Most of the time we look for organizations that are already in the culture. So that usually means people that aren't white. And so, whether it's in India, whether it's in Africa, whether it's wherever it is, even we do in the US as well with homeless communities, but that takes a lot less education just because they have access to the internet and stuff like that. But for let's say, Kenya, for example, a lot of it goes to someone who's immersed in the culture, has been there for a while and knows how to use the product. They will inevitably give it to the teachers first. So the teachers always come first. You have to get them on board, and have them use it, make sure that they like it. And once they are on board for it, they will teach their students about it, and we'll give away those cups to the students. And then they can go home and, have the confidence of a teacher backing them up and being like, this product's great. But it was interesting because I was curious to see how many people, how many girls especially are actually figuring this out from the teachers, because the teachers give one class on it and that's it. And so we went to a school which we had made our first donation. And we were asking, and we continue to make donations to them, as they grow up, new girls come in. But we got to meet with some of the girls who had received cups. And, I was like, did you figure it out? And it was so cool because they were like, actually, I didn't figure it out, but one of my friends figured it out. And so she helped me figure it out. So the fact that they were so wanting to make this product work for them was really encouraging to me, because that's always something I kind of worried about with our buy one, give one. I'm like, is this actually making a difference? I don't know, but that was super encouraging to see that they had worked as a community. All the girls were like, oh no, you got to try this, or you got to try it this way, or whatever. So they were, really happy to have, it's just crazy to me how, I was expecting a lot of the kids to just be really put on edge, once giving them the product. And some of them were obviously, but a lot of them were just thank you so much. We're so excited to try it, which really shocked me. I wasn't expecting that. So, that's kind of how we do it. A lot of it honestly goes to the organizations we work with. That's all them. They do the hard work, to be honest. We just donate the cups. But they are incredible, just the people that we work with. So
love that. Well, as you know, sorry, I thought Darren was going to pop in. Well, as you know, ZuLoo works in a very similar way, right? We work with local grassroots communities, NGOs, because those are the people who are most familiar with those communities, their cultural practices, and really how to educate on a level that is not only going to ease the uncertainty of a new product, especially because there's so many taboos surrounding menstruation, but also because, speaking to, your community leader, somebody that who might attend a worship service with you, or who you went to school with as a grade school, and your parents know each other, that's just so much more familiar than a stranger dropping in and saying, here, I have this amazing product. Let me show you. abrasive, right? It feels confrontational. It feels invasive even. And with something so intimate as menstruation, I think that's the way to go about it. And maybe like the only way to go about it as things stand, especially in rural communities where we lack access to appropriate education, where we lack access even to, the internet changed things for the world. But when you're in a rural community that doesn't have internet access, like even more so. So really,
I totally
really cool.
agree.
I was going to ask you what your, Jillian, or what is your, the rate of adoption, people that do try it, and maybe it takes a few times to get a hang of it, or, they've got to figure it out. But what the ones that people that do try it, do you find most women adopt it as a preference? And also the second part of that would be, is it more of also a generational thing? I guess it more younger generational women are finding it preferable to maybe tampons or pads?
Yeah, so I would say it's about an 80%. So it's pretty high up there. I think the reason it's lower though is usually because people don't get the right size the first time. They don't realize that. And so you kind of have to, it's not a one size fits all. So you got to figure out like what's your flow, and there's a science behind it, but that's one reason, our company has 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if the first cup you buy doesn't work, we'll send you another one for free because we want people to be able to find a cup that works for them. Let's see, your second question, I totally lost.
As far as the different age groups that you find mostly like younger customers would adopt it more readily than maybe an older person?
Yeah, it's kind of middle-aged people. It's not older and it's not younger. So it's interesting. And I think the reason behind that is because, let's say a lot of moms, raise their kids with tampons and pads. That's what they're used to. So their kids grow up to that as being normal. But people who are like, let's say in their 20s, 30s are looking for new ideas, new solutions. They're tired of dealing with tampons and pads. There's got to be something better out there. And they have the money to buy it without asking their parents for it. So I find that it's usually, I would say 20s, 30s are usually the age range. And then obviously, you get in your 40s, you're in premenopause. So there's that.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
funny.
sense. You're probably not getting a lot of 70, 80-year-old women buying it.
No. We do get some people, older women who do reach out every once in a while, but, at that point they're, at the end of it and they're like, well, I've only got a few years left. I don't really care to learn a new product. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you mentioned earlier having to teach the older generation in order to have that trickle down effect, right? Where that would eventually help to change or shake the system enough so that the younger population would start to use this more. When you're marketing, when you're educating, like, are most of your efforts geared toward moms of adolescents or who might still be menstruating? Or are you like, we're really just trying to like help our adolescents understand there's another way?
So we have been changing our marketing a little bit because we've had some new products. We just recently launched a teen kit. But I would still say we're mostly geared towards moms. And the reason being goes back to the fact that most teenagers won't spend the money on a new product. There's something funner to buy. Like new clothes or something like that. So, but if their mom sees it and starts using it and realizes, oh my gosh, this is life-changing, they'll buy it for their kids. So that's kind of what we have figured out.
Well, and that's
cool.
really the like golden place to be. Darren, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was going to just maybe circle back. I know you mentioned that you're a family-owned company. Because your two older sisters or your older brother and sister, right, started it. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
And what maybe you could share with us how the company started? Was it sort of were they just tinkering around in the garage and came up with this, or what was the maybe the genesis behind the
I
company?
am
And
so
also,
glad you asked this question because I think it's hilarious.
okay, let's hear it.
But so my oldest sister Amber, what I come from a family of 8, so we've got a lot of kids, but or my mom does, I guess. But she went overseas. She spent, oh man, I don't know, a couple years in traveling Asia, and just realized the lack of feminine hygiene, right? Well, around that time ish, my brother was getting on Amazon and he was selling stuff on Amazon, making his own e-commerce business or whatnot. And anyways, so, Amber had heard about menstrual cups and she's like, and this was the time when menstrual cups were just starting. They weren't like super big, and they were kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And so she brought up the idea. She's like, she just knew she couldn't do it by herself, So she was like, hey, Ben, like, what do you think about this idea? And he's like, never in a million years. Well, I sell menstrual products. But she finally convinced him, and they started up this company. And yeah, it took off, and so that's the thing. But it's funny. He got married, and when his wife was like out of tampons or something, he's like, I've got a whole bunch of menstrual cups under my bed. He's like, I got you covered. It's so funny to me. Yeah.
And he never regretted going into the menstrual hygiene business ever again.
He was just like, what husband can say that? He was like, I feel awesome.
Truly. And like now, right? Like, should he have daughters someday or even his nieces? Like, hopefully that's not an uncomfortable subject to broach, right? Hopefully he's like, no, listen, we can talk about this openly. Has that, I mean, like, that's a lot of kids to have 7 siblings in your family.
Yeah.
Is this like a topic that's open for discussion now in your family, or is potty talk like we're not?
Oh, no, it's definitely out there. I mean, 3 of the siblings, work for the company. And so, yeah, it's there. There is no TMI.
Oh man, I love it. We're here for that. We know that that's part of breaking down the barriers, right? Is like within our walls, our homes, with our family members, with our friends. Like, can we talk about these things? Can we make them lighthearted? Can we coach each other, just like you were saying your girls and your projects were doing? That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I am curious though. I was trying to look you guys up a little bit more, but I'm assuming you're the founder, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And so like what was, your moment of like, we need to create something for this. Like we need to educate people on this.
Well, yeah. Now you're interviewing us, so but yeah, we can.
I'm just curious, like.
Well, actually, I read
funny.
Rose George's book, the big necessity. If you've ever read her book, Rose George she's an author out of London. She wrote a book about sanitation and the need for toilets, and in fact, her book also covered menstruation as well. And so, but yeah, that's what got us interested in the topic. And of course, I could go on and talk about my experience with toilets as a kid growing up, and all of that. I think, yeah, certainly ZuLoo was spawned out of reading Rose George's book, and she's since come out, and she does write about. She came out with a book recently. What was it called? 9 Pints, Kelsey, right? It's a book about blood in general, but she in fact, we had her on the podcast a few months ago, and she said, if I just wrote a book about menstruation, 50% of the population would not buy it. But she decided to write it about blood in general. And then she wrote, the most important chapters she put in the very middle of the book that covers menstruation and, the social taboos around it. And obviously her whole objective is to change people's thinking. And anyway, if you don't, if you haven't read her book, I mean, I'd highly recommend it. But
yeah, I'm
anyway.
gonna have to read that now. It sounds super fascinating.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
Yes, ZuLoo has opened your eyes this much, but Rose George will just blow your mind in terms of sanitation and menstrual hygiene and just things globally around the world. This is 9 Pints. Darren's got on his screen.
Yeah, this is a copy of the book here, 9 Pints.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That is such a good idea that I just like love that aspect of, she wrote it about menstruation. 50% of the population wouldn't read it. I think that was ingenious.
Yeah.
This is her other book. We call this the ZuLoo Bible. This is the big necessity. It's funny, she wrote this back in 2008, so a while back, but we still haven't made a big dent in the access to sanitation. A lot of it is education, educating people about it, because it is in a lot of dinner tables around the world. I mean, my family is the same way, right? It used to be talking about toilets was like a no-go, but now it's like, of course, we're going to talk about toilets,
Yeah,
and we talk about menstruation as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. I think it is becoming more acceptable, though. It really is. I see a change in just like, we've got some of my friends, they've got kids in middle school and stuff, and like hearing them talk about menstruation, I'm like, wow. And like, I would never talk about that when I was here. So I think that's really cool.
Yes. Next level is Pixie Cup starts teaching the maturation course in 6th grade, right?
Oh man.
No, but we
Jill,
appreciate you coming on the show. It's been great. We love your company, love your product. It's great.
Yes. Thank you, Jill, so much for coming and just sharing your light, sharing your joy, letting us know a little bit more about Pixie Cup and what you guys are doing and the good impacts that you're having across the globe too. That's amazing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, man, you guys are doing the same thing here. Like, we're standing on equal ground. I love it. I'm so glad I could be a part of this and appreciate you guys' time.
Okay, Jill. She's so great. I'm so grateful that she would take time out of her day to come and chat with the ZuLoo Poodcast team.
I know. It's like a family thing. They got a big family, apparently. What'd she say? 9 kids, 8 kids? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And, and a lot of people are working in the Pixie Cup business. So it's exciting.
It's cool. Yeah. I love that. I love when families just say, hey, I've got this idea and get everybody else on board. And I love that she said, prior to starting the company, well, she didn't start the company, but prior to her siblings starting the company, there was like a fair amount of toilet talk, but now it's like everything's on the table.
Morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, everything's on the table. And that just brings a family together.
Yeah, nothing like toilet talk.
But wow, I mean,
and menstrual talk.
And menstrual talk.
I think we're a little closer because we've been talking about
I think
this stuff.
so too.
That's right. That's right.
I know more about your cycle than I do about mine.
I know. I never think I talk about my period as much as I have. You're welcome, world.
On live TV.
On live TV. Well, Jill's awesome. And I guess just...
Well, it's cool to talk about like the history of this cup thing. I mean, I thought, maybe it's just somebody came up with it. But like she was saying, is like it's been a version of it has been around for at least 100 years or so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like there was a contest and they're like, tampons or this like sheepskin thing. And the sheepskin clearly lost.
Yeah, thanks to the sheep. The sheep were lobbying against it.
She'd be like, actually, we'd rather not.
Use paper
we
products.
We were made for this. Use paper products.
Yes. Cotton sounds way better than wool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that was shocking to me. I guess I'd never thought about, they're just like these interesting niche history topics that you never think you're going to learn about. And then, then somebody tells you, hey,
actually,
tampons
weren't the first thing.
Yeah. Incredible. I just can't get over it. Also, I just loved that she would be so candid in sharing like the struggles and the joys of trying to teach feminine hygiene, especially in countries where it's very taboo. She spoke, to the virginity issue, which even here in the United States is a challenging topic for a lot of people.
It's such a multifaceted thing. There's culture, there's societal, there's religious sometimes, and it's all, happening when you're 11, 12, 13, and there's all of these different things coming at you from different angles. So I can imagine how difficult that would be to try to shift attitudes on all of these different levels.
Yeah. Yeah. And try to educate at the same time and not like impose a belief system, right? But to say like,
to be respectful, but also help.
Here are the benefits of this amazing thing. We hope that you can take the education and turn it into something that's beneficial for you. And I just really admire the work that Pixie Cup is doing to help women be safe, help communities be healthier and more hygienic. And
it's all about education. I mean, because if your mom's using cow patties to,
manage her cycle,
menstrual cycle, then that's what you're probably going to do, right?
Yep.
Right. So wouldn't you? I mean, if your mom used a cow patty to
the cow patty, I can't. I'm just trying to get a visual. I don't. Yeah.
You make it into a pad. What else is there to say?
But just.
Yeah, some cultures they use what locally is available. Apparently, they use
highly absorbent.
The first question is just like sanitary. How is that not? I don't know enough about cow patties and what's in there, but I'm guessing they're not super clean.
It's probably not the best option. I would say. I mean,
there's like a layer. So they like I think I looked up a little while ago like a video on how they do it. So it's dried cow patty because it's mostly grass that a cow's eating, right? So it's mostly grass, but it's either ground up into like
fresh.
Not
fresh. You want to use a fresh one.
No, they either grind it up into like a really kind of like a fine dust or sand consistency, and then pack it into like a pad,
pouch, right? Kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's not straight off the prairie.
Okay.
Or they're like compressing
I need to be educated on this process because my immediate reaction is, how are people not getting sick? Because that seems like
cow patty in your panties.
Yeah. Cow
patties. A bad idea.
Cow patty panties. Say that 10 times fast.
Okay, so that's really interesting, and it does seem like a really resourceful, innovative solution.
Yeah.
However, it does also seem like, there might be a better way, and it's great that Pixie Cup is trying to show people options and solutions.
Great. Along the same line, I remember reading about a lot of like Siberian women resorting to sheepskin skirts because they're also highly absorbent but very comfortable, and that was their preferred
skirts. So just like letting it flow, and then the skirt will absorb it.
And the skirt absorbs it. Yeah.
Wow.
I think there's some sort of undergarment that they wear that's also sheepskin. But it's just,
man, I want to do
amazing what you could do with a sheep,
10 different ways to use dead sheep. But like,
mutton.
Is there a book on the history of how women have managed periods over the years?
Certain there is.
I want to. Is it in here? Okay,
part of it is in here.
I have this book. I have not read it yet. It's sitting
Rose
on
George,
my desk.
pick up a copy.
Okay.
Did you get a copy? Did I give you a copy?
Yes, I do have this. I haven't been able to read it yet.
I have not read it yet. Rose, sorry, apologies, but a fair amount of the book is dedicated to that. I don't know about the whole history, but she does get into the history of it. But
there's like a whole chapter on it.
Yeah, it could be a whole book, and if you're looking for a topic to write about,
Yes, please send us an essay. We will hold an essay contest.
That's right.
I wonder if Rose weighed in at all on the period face masks.
Ooh,
I'm not allowed to send her an email and get her.
We should probably ask Rose what her thoughts are.
Yeah,
I want to ask a lot of
maybe
people.
That's why she looks so young.
Maybe that is her secret. It's like this.
She's like, my secret.
Period vampire situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandra, you leaving you on a yikes note, y'all. I'm just saying, if you do the period face mask, do it at your own risk.
And then tell me about it, because I'm very curious.
I don't know if they could hurt you, though. Could it hurt you? It couldn't hurt you.
I mean, don't ingest it.
Yeah, don't get it.
Don't lick your lips while you're doing your face mask.
Good heavens.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Wash your hands.
Or if you do, brush your teeth.
Just do it in the shower.
Yeah.
Use some Listerine.
Gargle with some Listerine.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting thing to follow. If you're bored on TikTok, you might look it up,
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We are super grateful that you're here. Please like, subscribe, share this podcast, share the free education really is what we're providing you. I mean,
Wealth of knowledge.
Wealth of knowledge
right.
here from our team. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Poodcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@ZuLoo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.